You know what? I fucking appreciate that so much. The fact that was a way better response than I was even expecting. Like, wait, we have no fucking idea.
Here's
how
a hoodie.
To actually, yeah, here's the black hoodie. Here's the DGen uniform you ordered for $3,000. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Gif, your humble Web3 Sherpa, and I'm hanging out with some of the homies here at the W3 Studios in Hollywood, California. This is the first, as far as I know, first ever Web3 members only club in LA, and we got our new production friends here. We've got Ryan and Alex. So clap it up for Ryan and Alex.
Let's go.
You know what? This is a pilot. This is the first time that we're doing this show. And I haven't even announced the name of the show to our co-host yet. So we're going to get some honest reactions. But before we get into that, just so you know, like, what is it that we're doing here? What's the Web3 Network? What's the show all about? We talk about tech. We talk about design. We talk about culture. We talk about just generally, like, how are you making it? How are you defining success and lifestyle in the digital renaissance? That's what this is. We're just trying to figure out, you know, what is this post-AI world that we're now living in? And that's definitely going to be a topic that we talk about among many others. But without further ado, introducing my amazing first guests here, who are brave enough, courageous enough to be joining us on this pilot episode. Heroin.
What's up? I'm Heroin, creator, destroyer.
Ooh.
Simple, easy. Yo, I appreciate that. You know, less is more,
So
right?
mysterious.
Yeah. I mean, look, I know Heroin as the DGen's DGen. He's a regular co-host on an amazing show called IRL Alpha and also a talented music producer. So very happy to have you, the destroyer, Heroin, with us. And then, last but not least, the co-host on this new show, to be titled soon, Kelly Pantaleone. Clap it up, clap it up.
Let's go.
I'm the only one clapping, that's fine.
We say one fan. Actress in the film 3 space and also living here in Hollywood, so IRL too. Producer, film producer. Wish I could make music. Very envious. And then also working here at Dancing Seahorse and Nova 3.
Hell yeah. And a Web3 consultant, in a way. Like, you've kind of positioned yourself now to be talking to all these different companies, leading partnerships, doing a lot in this space, I'd say.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I ran strategic partnerships at a DAO before this. And then, yeah, running strategic partnerships here and then speaking at different conferences and, yeah, working with a Web3 conference in Vegas this year too, so it's a lot.
That is, yeah, a lot of big words there too. Like, what is a DAO? Who even knows what the fuck a DAO is? We'll get into that at some point, I'm sure.
We didn't even know, to be honest.
But all right, this is the reaction I want to get. This is the name of the show that we've you know, field researched. We've done it's science, right? Multimodal research out there in the real world, getting feedback on a whole list of hundreds of different names.
DGen tested and verified.
Exactly. And this is the name that we came up with.
I'm nervous and excited, but a bit more nervous because I feel like you've already like settled on a name, so there's no going back. That's okay.
Well, your reaction will tell us if there's going back.
Okay.
Do you know what multimodal means, first of all?
It sounded cool.
Perfect. That's all that matters. It means, like, we underwent many methodologies in this research that we did to find the perfect name for this new show.
So more than just an Instagram poll?
That's basically what we did.
Yeah.
That's all you did.
So here it is, the name, Kelly. Honest reactions. Fuck you money.
Oh, what?
Yes, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Gif, you are a fucking savage.
No, that
Yo,
is
I can't
it.
wait. Is that a
love it.
real?
That's good.
I
don't know, like,
dude. But you need the suit, dude. You need the suit with all the, like, McGregor with the pinstripes. You know what I mean?
I
gotta work my way up to McGregor status, but yeah.
I fuck with it because I want to be making fuck you money.
It's aspirational.
Let's embody it. Let's manifest it. You know, New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
Let's make some fuck you
I
money.
love it, man. That's sick as hell.
Yo, if y'all, I can't tell if they're capping, if they're trolling me.
No, I'm actually serious.
But yo.
My Instagram bio legit says fuck the banks.
Yo.
So I'm on
Defund the
board.
banks.
See, it has multiple different layers to it, right? It's aspirational because, like, you know, we are entering into this world where kind of all of us are realizing maybe this idea of success of work for the corporation that our parents grew up with, and they'll take care of you. If you work your whole life away, then you retire at 60, that's cool. It's like
Slavery.
yeah, no, that's not really what we're about. How do we get to a point where we're independent on our own terms in a crazy new world that doesn't have that kind of security? You know, there's different ways to success now, and now we've got, you know, different types of technologies, and then also it's kind of like a fuck the system, right? The existing monetary system, you know, Web3, a lot of that is about revolutionizing a lot of these different you know,
It's got that
systems.
maverick mindset. It's like, yeah, we're charting our own path here.
Hell yeah. You know what? I fucking appreciate that so much. The fact that was a way better response than I was even expecting. Honestly, I thought they were gonna be like, all right. I thought y'all be like,
No, I'm so on board. I wrote "fuck the banks" after we actually lost our family home to the banks.
whoa.
So it's personal for me. So I'm really on board with changing the system completely because it's not in our benefit. It's not in the people's benefit whatsoever.
Yo, so it's real. You know, you'd see you're the perfect freaking co-host right here. That's you know, thanks for sharing that.
Comes from trauma.
And with that as a segue into our first like big topic of the day, because ChatGPT and AI has finally, you know, become consumer facing. It's become retail, and a lot of people for the first time are seeing the power of what AI does. So we're gonna get into that, but before we do, real quick, I want to restate where we're at. This is our new home for this new show, Nova 3. We're very excited. Again, this is a location unlike anywhere else in the world, and we're gonna get inside access to be showing you behind the scenes on a lot of different activations, a lot of different shows, a lot of different cool initiatives that they're gonna be producing here, right here at Nova 3. So that's the cool part also about being part of the show with us, is you get the inside track, you get insider info about what's happening and get to see what's going on at a state-of-the-art Web3 IRL experiential venue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the vibe. It's cool in here.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. We're
Yeah.
also playing with the term creative house because we have the recording studio, we have a podcast room we're working on, workspace, you know, the stage,
Creative kitchen.
creative kitchen.
Hey.
We also do
We're
have
cooking.
yeah, no, we do have a bomb kitchen here too. So we're pretty set.
Yeah, and because of that, we're able to basically create this badass hang. There's multiple different rooms, spaces that we're gonna get to explore with you. And so, all right, here we are. Heroin, Kelly, so happy to be here with you both.
Let's go.
Ryan and Alex as well. Let's talk about ChatGPT. My question to each of you and to y'all watching this is ChatGPT going to enslave us all? Is ChatGPT the AI's way in? Is this the ex machina moment where we've created something so beautiful that we fall in love with it, and then ultimately at the end it convinces us to lock ourselves in a door and then walks out into the world and just is gone?
That is a scary analogy. I am kind of on the fence. Like, I love technology and I love seeing how the AI space has progressed, but ultimately, at least for right now, I just view it as a tool. No different than the calculator, no different than a computer. You know, back in the day, people had to use libraries. People don't even go to libraries anymore, but you'd go to the library, you'd get your books, you'd write your paper. Then people started using Google, and no one really threw shade at Google for being able to like pull up the world's information at your fingertips, and now you can process that information with AI. And it's interesting because there are some Luddites in the world that are against AI, and I'm not really like for it or against it, but in New York this week, I believe they just banned students and teachers from using ChatGPT.
Yeah, New York banned it throughout the entire state.
Yeah.
New York's really against a lot of these initiatives. Like, they don't even allow Tezos.
What?
Yeah, they don't. You can't like.
Yeah, there's a lot of
trade
different
with
cryptos that's
Tezos.
very specific and kind of feels arbitrary to me. I'm sure there's some rationale for it, but the thing is, like, to me, all that does when they ban it in a state like that is help the VPN industry. All that does to me is like advertised for Nord and all these other companies that are just like, yeah, just pay us a couple bucks and like do whatever the fuck you want. Like,
But it also shows that they're threatened big time. Like, I think because there's so much business in New York, like Wall Street, that they're very threatened and they're trying to cut it off as much as possible.
They have a lot of old money. They don't have a lot of fuck you money.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh,
I think the proximity to the financial hub of stock, stock market, Wall Street, New York Stock Exchange. That's an interesting point that I hadn't thought much about. To me, though, it just feels like you're slowing down the inevitable. And you know what? Maybe that's not that bad, to be honest, because I think one of the biggest arguments from people, I've been watching a lot of videos from a lot of thinkers out there, and I think a lot of them who are, have the capacity to think 5, 10, 15 years in the future are kind of aligned that like they're not sure that we're ready for this.
So I also think when it comes back to Chat GPT, I think we're giving them way too much credit, because I just went on their site to try and test it out myself, and it says, oops, something went wrong.
Well, they're scaling. It takes millions of dollars a day probably to run these servers, the amount of processing power that they're operating on, right?
Yeah, well, and plus with all the publicity, so many people are signing up.
That's what I mean.
That's simply what I was
It's
trying
so
to do, is
much.
just signing up. It says there could be a misconfiguration in the system or service outage. We track these errors automatically, but if there's a problem, please feel free to contact us. Please try again. And they do offer support. They offer, which is nice, an email address, because a lot of places don't even do that. So
I don't know if this is speculation or if it's true, but I heard Microsoft was inquiring to purchase it for like $1 billion or half of it or something.
I think it's like
that.
$10 billion.
it's a lot of billions.
Wow,
Yeah, 10.
wow.
That's
It's-
actually a new headline today. So thank you for bringing that up, right? So Microsoft, new headline, $10 billion offer for, I think, 49%. Somebody check me on that in the
Wow.
comments. But yeah, how does that play into how you're thinking about it?
I've been pretty bullish on Microsoft overall. Like, I don't love Microsoft, but it's hard to not be bullish on it. Like, they keep making all of the takeover plays. Even in terms of the metaverse, like Microsoft has been maybe 10 years ahead of this metaverse stuff going on. They've been acquiring all of the major game studios. I believe they acquired like Bethesda and all
Obviously
of that shit.
Xbox.
Exactly. And if you look at like the issue with all this metaverse crap that's out there, like everyone's trying to build a game. Like you can't just build a game, let alone an innovative Web3 metaverse game. Like you need actual AAA game studios to even get anywhere near that. And even if you have those studios, most of them still make shitty games like Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Wow. Hot take right there. Yeah, most people don't know this about me, but I spent the last 5 years working at Electronic Arts and for Ubisoft, running all their marketing. So I've been in video game marketing for 5+ years.
I love it, yeah.
And that's one of the things that I've seen has been like a wall in the space that people have hit so hard. Was the 2021 WAGME of like, here's my roadmap, we're gonna create a game, and then you raise a couple mil, and then it's like, wait, we have no fucking idea.
Here's
how
a hoodie.
to actually, here's the fucking black hoodie. Here's the DGen uniform you ordered for fucking $3,000. No, it's so incredibly hard to create a good game and then ship that, distribute it, market it, like all the things that go into that, and then maintain it as a live service now. Because effectively, like, that's what, like, if you're doing a blockchain game, like, maybe you can just package and ship that, but it's probably a live service too.
Well, there's a little bit of nuance with that. It's not necessarily harder to create a game right now. People have been making great games for decades. The issue is the financial incentives of the gaming industry completely shaft gamers, and it's incredibly anti-consumer.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Solid, no, great points. But also, even with the economic, the funds, the resources that an EA, a Ubisoft, some of these biggest global game publishers have, they still invest years and tens of, or even maybe hundreds, but tens of millions of dollars developing games that flop all the time.
Okay, so I have a question for you then. What is your take on currently they don't benefit consumers, like you said, it's pay to play. What is your take on play to earn?
Oh God, you're gonna get me started.
I know
on
this is controversial.
I'm actually the CEO of Raid Party, so Raid Ponzi, as we like to call it. Play to earn doesn't make any sense. It's just another phrase for crypto Ponzi. I do think that gaming in Web3 will be huge. Like, it's pretty obvious, and ultimately it boils down to the Fortnite model. Similarly to how I was describing Microsoft being ahead of the Metaverse with all of their gaming studio acquisitions, Fortnite is decades ahead of everyone else.
But it's also a live service, and that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. Like they've got teams working on it all the time. It's not like
but
a
they have nothing
stop-start.
to do with Web3. Fortnite has nothing to do with Web3, but their model is already put in place to position them as a leader, similar to an Apple fast follower strategy. Like
Yep.
once this stuff permeates culture and it's like, okay, like gamers stop hating on NFTs, it'll be like, okay, I'll pay $5 for that skin, you know.
Yeah, once they figure out the model and flip the switches, it's going to be very hard for any of the startup gaming studios, NFT studios, to compete with that, right? I want to get us back to the AI part of it.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft is going to be a big part of the conversation moving forward. That's a really good point.
Have you messed around with ChatGPT? Have you
Yes,
used
of
it
course. So this is what I wanted to share. Part of what inspired this question, right, is that I knew it was a powerful thing. I actually have worked with AI professionally with marketing tools. So like I knew it was coming. I knew it was a big thing. I had a friend, a well-known producer, NFT Web3 producer in the space. I won't say names because I don't know how much they want to share about this yet. But they came over and hung out. We had dinner, and he brought his laptop and sat there and showed me what he was using ChatGPT to do. And this was the first time that I was like, oh, holy fucking, like, this is insane how powerful it is, because essentially what he did was he did something that was impossible to him, that he could never have done in years. And then he was able to accomplish this impossible task in hours. And he basically built a whole working model of a blockchain game with like smart contracts, with front end, with art that's actually on chain. All of this stuff that's incredibly sophisticated and like he could have never done himself because of how long and how difficult it is and complex to code it. He literally was able to accomplish this in hours. And that's when I like realized, oh shit, I'm not doing it right. Like I'm not asking hard enough questions.
Damn.
Like I need to be pushing this thing as hard as possible. Because now I've realized through that like if you want to be a literal superhero this year, learning how to train and direct ChatGPT properly is like, it's the most powerful fucking thing you could do.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say he just like configured it to respond to all of these like Tinder matches or something.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's
This is
where
a
I
little
think
bit more
most people are
extreme.
kind of thinking on that level of like, how do I just do this? Like the smart people are like, how do I create next level technology from this technology?
How do I disrupt a process?
Yeah.
Do you think it could write a film script?
Oh, it's already done that. People have already been doing that. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
We should get on that.
But you got to direct it properly,
Yeah.
and then figure out how do you QA, how do you quality assure something like that, and still create something that's human and interesting. So it can do it. It doesn't mean it's going to be good.
So I see two conversations happening around ChatGPT, and they really come from either a creative side or a mechanical side. And I think you guys just brought up two really interesting examples, like script writing versus automating some type of workflow. And I think those are the two components of what is making ChatGPT such a relevant topic right now. I believe that it's more powerful in, automating the tasks in business or certain processes, whether it's a code or whatever it is, than it is for like a creative thing. But with that said, I have used it when I get writer's block. I've been doing a lot of songwriting lately. It's like, okay, like give me some stuff that rhymes with this, or like write a song that uses this theme, and it'll like just blast through that writer's block. But I think that's small fish. Like it's really not there in terms, like you can do some creative stuff with it, but I think the massive transformations and disruptions really come from opening up more time in human capital.
Yeah, I think what we should do with Web3 is make sure we don't fall down that same trap of, the memes that are like, oh, you have, this technology that takes the work of 10,000 men. And are you having orgies under a tree and eating figs?
Wait, where?
And then they're like, but aren't you? And then they're like, oh, no. Like, we've just become more addicted and more dependent and working harder than ever. Hopefully, with this technology, we will be a little bit smart and think, no, this is to relieve our time, not to add more time to our work, flows.
I love that. And it also brings it back full circle to the initial question, because I think this is the danger, is that we fall into becoming slaves to the technology. And how do we make sure, to your point, Kelly, how do we make sure that we're using this technology to improve humankind, to improve our day-to-day lives and not get fixated on more and more and more? That's the issue with tech in general, right? It's like, that's the conundrum. But yeah, this has been an awesome combo so far. Will ChatGPT ultimately enslave us all? I think it might. Honestly, I think it might. I'm not convinced it won't. Let's just put it that way. But with that, I want to keep us moving into another relevant topic, which we already kind of hit on a little bit. You mentioned the metaverse, Heroin. We're talking about Microsoft.
Time out real quick right there. This one, you moved in it. It was
Oh,
bothering me. So
thank you.
Love it.
Where should it go? Oh, like
I just
behind?
yeah, the cord
Oh,
itself
okay,
was
yeah.
kind
He's
of
on
like,
it.
yeah.
Thank you.
I love that. Killing it.
Attention to
On top of it.
detail. You're fired.
Cool.
This is why they're going to pay you the big
Okay.
bucks. With that, we're going to move into another topic that, again, we already hit on. Heroin was mentioning the metaverse, which is it's a very controversial thing right now, I would say, because it got a lot of hype, especially coming out of COVID. We were all stuck inside. We all were yearning for that human connection that we were like deprived of. Where did we go? We went into Clubhouse. We went on to Twitter. We went into maybe voxels, crypto voxels at the time, and Decentraland.
Grand Theft Auto.
Gaming with the homies,
miss
Grand Theft
Grand Theft
Auto.
Auto.
We searched out for all of these outlets for that human connection. And, a year or two on from that great promise of everybody hyping up the metaverse and aping into ridiculously speculative virtual land, here we are with the reality, and that's that currently there's not a lot of adoption. There's just not. The DAUs, the MAUs, the active users, if you look at a lot of these virtual worlds, is very low, right? That's being nice, right? Like we know that it's just not really there, but there's actually a lot of innovation happening. So CES was just over the weekend, which is the big tech conference in Vegas. And actually, I was surprised to see some of the headlines. It was all very metaverse focused, a lot of the tech. They've got smelling tech. Now you've got like a mask you can smell in the metaverse.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can even they've got 30 different senses now. They've got tech that lets you feel like free falling. So when you jump off a building, you actually feel like you're gonna freaking die.
Does anybody want that?
Exactly. Well,
Sounds like my nightmare.
I kind of feel that way too. But then also, Apple is entering with their own headset, and you know how Apple does when they're
They do
come
alright.
in. They come
They
in
do
with
alright.
the sexy hardware. They make everything cool. So I want to combine these things because with dating, and we'll get there in a second. Like why do I want to talk about dating in the metaverse? So much of technology has proliferated specifically because of spicy content, because of our proclivities in our personal lives, what intrigues us, what tickles our pickles, philosophical, whatever. You know what I'm saying. So the spicy content has been at the forefront of VHS adoption, different DVD adoption, but also people forget like the internet itself.
Yeah, it's a catalyst.
The internet itself was largely successful and proliferated through people searching, mostly dudes, but women and men searching for spicy content. That's literally how the internet thrived in the first place. So I'm thinking that we need the spicy adult experiences for it to get the active usership in the metaverse, most likely. Whether that's good or bad, I'm not, we're not here to have an ethical, moral conversation really, but how does, Apple coming in with a sexy new piece of hardware, does that make it sexy? Does that make it cool?
I hope they make it sexy because I actually used to work in VR. I had a production company back in like 2014. We were way ahead of the curve, and I'm kind of glad I didn't stick with it this long because it still hasn't really taken off. But I was going to all the conferences, I was attending all the events, and I was really intrigued in what VR is going to do for storytelling. I hadn't thought about the more spicy content, but it is something that came up last year. I was at a photo shoot. I was photo assisting a photographer friend of mine, and it was a photo shoot where a lot of these like OnlyFans models were there, and they were shooting like lingerie and bikini, and there was a manager there who was already working on this concept of, I think they were working on like strip tees or strippers in the metaverse, and this like full body, like wearable where you can feel that contact of the
Haptic
woman.
suits?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that blew my mind because that was something that I hadn't thought of, but it's clearly going to be the future, which is scary to me because I heard somewhere that we're already like as a society having less sex, there's less like people, less babies being made. Like there's just, I feel like we're becoming a little bit too disconnected as a society in person. I live on the internet, I love it, but I think we need more in-person connection. So I'm a little nervous about where it's gonna go. But as far as the VR headsets, I really hope Apple comes out with something cool, because the reason VR hasn't been mass adopted yet is because no one wants to walk around or be seen in these big, ugly, embarrassing goggles that they have.
It's not cool.
It's not cool.
Sexy.
And until it looks like cool shades like this, or like more of a wraparound, like really futuristic, you know, shades, I don't think people are going to be wearing them.
She likes the shades, bro.
I got the shades.
So Heroin, when was the last time you had sex? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. No, I mean,
What year is it?
Yeah, what do you think about this though? Because the truth is, like, whether we want to admit it or not, everything Kelly's saying is right on, and like the majority of relationships now already happen through dating apps and Tinder, etc.
Yes, and I like that you set the context with, you know, spicy content really pushing forward technology innovation that's happened like since the internet. Tinder is obviously
Probably
a really
even before
good.
that. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
photography.
Yeah,
too,
you're absolutely
you know?
right.
Like,
Yes, you're absolutely right. You know, Tinder was obviously a huge catalyst in the app marketplace. So this is really just an extension of that. You know, I found a project that was very interesting last week that I just got the OG list for, so I'm gonna probably mint that one. But it's called Joy City, and it's actually a project from Brazzers.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's that? What
you
is
don't,
that?
you don't,
know.
don't act like you don't know.
This
Don't act like you don't know.
Brazzlers? Is that,
If you
what
don't
said?
know, Google it.
Yeah, so it's called Joy City. It's a project in collab with Brazzers, and it's the first erotic metaverse platform.
Whoa.
And like I said, I'm pretty bearish on anything metaverse unless it's like a real company doing real shit. And so far from what I've seen, it looks semi-legit. And I went into this Discord and my God, was it mayhem. And I'm like, oh my God, like our NFT's back? Is this kicking off a
That's a
bowl?
good sign
Like, it
when
was
it's
a
mayhem.
crazy sign. It was
Yeah.
a crazy sign. And I'm like, okay, so maybe not everyone is into the whole gaming thing, but you know, people might be into this spicy, you know, shit.
Yeah.
And it could be a thing that onboards a lot of people.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's the adoption and getting the habit. Okay, I'm gonna share something personal here real quick that I think feeds into this. I've been doing these like intense like monthly health programs, and part of it is trying to cut out fapping and spicy content. That's like, and on top of that, like a bunch of other healthy shit. It's not just that, all right?
I'm
like,
laughing at
like
the
like
word
things like hitting the
fapping.
gym every day. Like, you know, I'm very focused on doing these intense health things. But I'm telling you, of all the like hardcore rules that I'm like trying to live by, that's the hardest one. Like no fapping and no spicy content, because it's something that basically, like as a dude at least, I don't know how girls behave with
I can tell you.
with their personal stuff. We'll get into that. But like, you know, basically since you're an adolescent teen boy, like, you know, you've found ways to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? And so it's like that's been part of my life, and I think a lot of men. I'm sure it's not everybody, but it's really hard to just like say no to that. And so the point is, what's the point? I'm not trying to tell you all about my weird, you know, personal shit as much as point to the daily or weekly habit that this is for many people in the world, both men and women, and that habit is what creates the adoption and then the reuse, the stickiness. Oof, that's a that's a rough term to be thrown in here. But you see what I'm saying, right? It's like that habit building.
Yeah, I think it comes down to accessibility and the immersiveness of the experience. Like this, I haven't done too much research on this Joy City thing, but it looks to be like a pretty immersive thing. And you can imagine like a lot of these Web3 nerds, right? They're gonna spend a lot of time.
Are you wearing a
in there.
haptic suit underneath all that? Right
Yeah.
now? You're in Joy City right now, aren't you?
I'm enjoying
Your avatar
myself.
at home is actually getting some like.
These are actual VR
Yo,
glasses.
Yeah, I'm
That's gonna be
fully
some weird shit when you're
immersed.
out in public, but you're actually getting like.
Well, because they have like female sex
massage.
toys.
I
They
had
have
a girlfriend who was into that once.
Oh,
with the little remote buzzer.
oh, we all know. We all know about that, right? Right.
Somebody still has mine. So
But it's
What's his name?
interesting
Let's, can we call him? Can we call him right now?
no way he's blocked.
But here's the thing: those types of, you know, digital platforms already exist. So how does adding Web3 or NFT enhance or differentiate the experience? That's what gets really interesting, because, you know, let's say that, you know, you're looking for someone with high status in dating and you're doing that through the metaverse, you're going to be looking for who's got that rare, erotic NFT.
Oh,
Mm.
this is where the NFTs and the status symbol comes. It's like having a Bentley out front of the club, right? Like,
Yeah.
all right, let's get into the woman's POV here. You teased us there, like, oh, I'll tell you how we do it. Let's hear it. How do the women come into all of this?
Okay, so I think especially because of lockdowns and looking into more self-love and working on ourselves, I think women really tapped into our sexuality a lot more, especially now because we have a lot of female rappers that are talking about it and making us feel like seen and that it's safe to talk about and enjoy and express our sexuality as women. So I actually haven't watched in years because the that most
Can we say spicy content? Yeah. No, it's all good because
Yes.
YouTube will literally like.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I haven't watched spicy content in years because most of it is very much catered towards the male gaze. It's probably directed and written by men. It's not really catering towards women, although I know there are specific sites now for women, but I just haven't been, tapped into that for a while. Luckily, I have a vivid imagination. But I'm hoping that with this, metaverse concept and Joy City is that it will be more, I guess, in a sense, collaborative for women. I think actually,
Female friendly.
yeah, I think it will be very female friendly. I hope it will be because it'll be a space where women can finally start exploring that, not just consuming content that we're fed, which is mainly for men, as far as male pleasure and focusing on the male body. The female body.
There's an interesting point here about the safety aspect for women to really go out and explore, right? And discover new things. Because as a woman, it can be dangerous for anybody to go out and get weird. It doesn't have to be gender. But women especially can find themselves in uncomfortable, dangerous situations if they're going out with a bunch of different dudes or getting into different types of kinks and clubs and whatever you're into, right? So this could absolutely open up, I think, a Pandora's box.
Boom. I think we definitely need to maintain security in these metaverses with I've seen these, metaverse police, and they're like volunteer squads of people who are just making sure everyone's behaving themselves.
Fuck the police.
Yeah, I know. They need to be I think they were actually dressed as schoolgirls or something. It was a fun, way to protect people. Because I've heard of women being virtually assaulted in other just regular metaverse scenarios. So it's already happening, guys creeping on women. It's if it happens here, it's gonna happen in the metaverse.
So it's Kelly's birthday. All right, wait. Let's come back to this. I want to hear what you have to say first.
Yeah.
Let's come back to this.
I was gonna ask you, so let's say you're hanging out in the metaverse, is some dude with a cool pickup line and a rare hat in the metaverse or something like that gonna be able to pick you up or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the answer's yes.
Boom. You know what? I see NFT floors rising in the future.
Oh yeah.
Get those rare collectibles.
Yo.
Because it's out in the open because you can't fake it in the real world. You never know if the guy's car's rented. You never know if what he's wearing is fake.
Hex gang, baby. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yo. No, this is a hilarious thing. And I want to kind of expand on that, right? Because it is Kelly's birthday. We didn't lead with that. That's actually the most important story of the show today. So first and foremost, happy birthday, Kelly. We have a whole story here about a secret admirer delivering some unexpected goodies. Is that chocolates?
Yeah, chocolates, and there's a note as well, a mystery note. So there are some clues, but they didn't put their name.
We got happy birthday balloons, and we've got some cupcakes for her later. So we're gonna do that here in just a bit. But on that topic of your birthday, celebrating, even things like brides or what's it called? When you go out for your wedding.
Oh, bachelorette.
Bachelorette. Jesus. All right,
We're clearly not
it's
marriage-minded.
only my third show today. Cut me some slack.
No, we are not marriage-minded here in the metaverse.
Exactly. So bachelorette parties, for instance, that type of celebration for you as a woman, are you in the future, do you see yourself going into the metaverse and just getting into some really weird stuff?
Ooh, that would be fun. Yeah, definitely. Because I feel especially as an actress and just being a woman in general, going to or putting myself in situations in the real world that could be really fun, adventurous, and spicy, could be, like you said, problematic, whether it's physically, reputation, whatever it is. But in the metaverse, if I have an anonymous avatar, I can do whatever the hell I want and have fun with it. And it's way safer.
Those burner Instagram finstas are all gonna be like living. Yeah, this is actually an interesting point about anonymity, right? Because we talk a lot about the controversy around anonymity, but I think that's usually around like project creators. I think it's a different thing. If you're just out there doing your own personal thing, who cares? Be anonymous. You know, but I think when you're taking down millions of dollars and making big promises, that's when like I kind of have an issue with that. But all right, separate conversation. Happy birthday, Kelly.
Happy birthday.
All right. Any last thoughts on the metaverse becoming more sexy with Apple and spicy content and where that's going before we talk Twitter?
I think it makes sense. I'm pretty bullish on the concept. I think this could be like an actual wave that we see in NFTs. Like we see NFTs, and we see spicy content, then we see gaming. I kind of see it as just like a big wave. I'm interested to see what the big players are going to be in that space, whether it's a Brazzers or a, whatever. So yeah, I think it's a good thing for the space.
I agree, but I hope it's not going to be these massive companies that are already taking huge profits, especially from these adult artists. I want to see more independent projects. Like at a recent conference, I saw a project called Stripperville. Stripperville, just kind of self-explanatory there. I've seen just through TikTok, actually, there's a lot of these metaverse stripper influencers, if that makes any sense at all. And they don't even always have to be women because they're just playing avatars. I guess they have a headset.
They're probably mostly men.
Yes, well, this TikToker was a guy. And so, they've got the controllers, and so they're moving, but their avatar is, obviously representing them in the metaverse. But I kind of like that concept where it's more independent people making a living for themselves instead of just like fueling the system that already existed.
That's a great point. Web3 and NFT has empowered a lot of creators to essentially move on their own path without a big agency or management team. And I see that applying to this situation as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Love it. Yo, y'all killing this show so far. How you feeling? You feeling good?
We lit.
All right, we're going to keep it rolling. How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good? You keep it going a little bit longer? Just a little bit longer? All right. All right. This is maybe the last topic that we're going to hit on today, but it's a big one. It impacts our day-to-day lives if you're in the Web3 space, and that is the Twitter Elon Musk saga. Let's give a grade. This is a report card for Elon Musk. He's been he was in the CEO role. I don't even think he's in the CEO role. He lasted, 2 months as CEO?
At least he lasted longer than the UK Prime Minister.
Ooh, yo, facts. But how's he doing as the new owner of his shiny new ride, Twitter?
This is going to get some people heated, but I am a big Elon fan. I don't understand the hate. And I am all about Twitter now. I think it's one of the more interesting platforms to be on. From a business model perspective, like a lot of the people that are shitting on Twitter, that are shitting on Elon, paid him $8 for that little blue check mark.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Or 11.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to talk about, because when I opened Twitter today, that alert came up of like, if you want to keep blue, you've got to pay more. I'm like, what happened? Why? It went from, pretty sure it was like $4 before, right?
Yeah.
To
3
8.
or 4 to 8.
And now 11.
I'm not a
But what does
fan.
that tell you, though?
People are paying.
People are paying, and now they determined based on metrics that they'll pay more for it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
It also tells you that he's desperate to be able to pay the rent in his office.
Oh, I don't doubt it, yeah.
Yeah, if y'all don't know, he's literally getting like sued for not paying rent in the offices right now.
What?
Yeah, in San Francisco, literally, he's been missing on his rent payments so long.
Elon.
Hey, rents are high. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Especially in the Bay.
I think I give him like a B right now, if I'm being honest. Obviously, it's chaos, but I think, first of all, I was gonna say, you look like an Elon fan. I don't know what it is about you.
I got some swag.
Right, you know what I'm
He's
saying?
good. I love
Kinda
Elon
looks like
on his own.
yeah,
I
yeah.
am the man on Mars.
Do you have a tattoo? Do you have a Doge tattoo yet?
Doge tattoo?
Bro, I might get a Doge tattoo. We'll see.
Well, I agree with you on like how is the company being run right now? Chaos. I don't think it's actually being run super well.
You gotta break stuff.
But there's going to be massive growing pains in this new structure.
Yeah. And that's how I generally feel, is that people are so short term, like the short-mindedness of people in general in the world astonishes me.
Instant gratification.
But especially within like tech or the Twitter sphere, the Web3 space, or whatever these online communities are, or these projects, it's just like people have zero patience and don't seem to understand that to create like anything of value and global scale is really fucking hard. Like it takes some time.
Yeah.
You can't just wake up and be like, oh, there it is.
But
Somebody's got to fucking do this shit.
But Elon also wanted to be the overlord of the main platform where trolls exist. So he had
He
to
is
know.
a troll. He's
He
number
is
one
a troll. He
He
is the like
He's
the
top
master
troll.
troll. He
Yeah,
is number
top
one troll.
top troll.
So I think he
Yeah.
knew what he had coming. I was also an Elon fan, and I still like him. I just don't think he handled it very well. It just, you could see by his tweets, he just was really enjoying the power, and he liked. I think he just became a little too hungry for
Yes,
power.
that much power is intoxicating.
Yeah, and you can tell he really liked having that power, and I think he's such a good innovator. Like, stick to inventing and coming up with things or running things well. Like,
Well,
stick to that.
Speaking of Twitter innovation, I don't. One of the things I don't see a lot of people talking about is how disruptive this potential business model could be to the social media sphere. Right now, we are essentially monetized, and we use all of our social media for free. But imagine if everyone's paying $11, $20, whatever it is, to actually use these platforms. How does that change? How do we stop, becoming data cattle?
Yeah, it's a really good point. And the thing that upsets me a little bit, besides the fact that iPhone users are getting taxed more, which
Wait,
I hate.
what?
Yeah, that's the 11. So that's just iPhone, iOS. So if you try and, you should try this as an experiment. Try and sign up on your browser instead of through your iPhone, because it's specifically Apple Mobile, iOS, I think that they're charging more. Yeah, it's literally an Apple Mobile tax.
This
an
feels like a
iPhone tax.
war. This feels
Yes.
like a personal dig.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm not a fan of that first and foremost, but I'm also not a fan of paying for verification per se. Like if they're actually doing it well and this works out, then I'm happy. But you saw the chaos that it caused initially when he tried to roll it out without putting more thought and effort behind it, because the idea behind verification in the first place was to create a sense of security and authenticity, and like these are real people. And then it just became like star fucking. Then it just became like clout, right? Then it was just like, oh, only famous people and certain influencers could get it. And then it wasn't really about authenticating anybody or verifying people as much as separating, a certain class. It became a class system, right? And then I feel like, well, if you just give it away to everybody, that doesn't fucking solve the problem. But then also, if you just make it pay to play, that also isn't necessarily verifying authenticity.
When they launched the Twitter Blue subscription, I became especially bullish on NFTs, actually. I think that it created this middle tier.
Great point.
Yeah, it created this middle tier, because what you're describing is the problem with verification on social media and how it's essentially become, devalued over time. And so you can have this, free to play, maybe your content gets throttled or a little bit or doesn't get boosted, but whatever, everyone can use the platform. Then you have this verified, $8 to $20 section, but then at the very top now, you have the hexagon, and you have a CryptoPunk, and you have the Bored Apes, right?
Twitter NFTs. Look what Reddit did. Come on.
Look what Reddit did,
It's
yeah.
a freaking layup for Twitter.
Exactly.
To do a Reddit move with some avatar NFTs and onboard. Talk about onboarding millions of new fucking people. How many people on Twitter, if they're already seeing people will like pay $11, 20, like, yeah, what's that threshold that millions of people will literally pay to be in that special category?
But then is that just capitalism all over again? Like we
live in capitalism. I don't know,
but aren't we trying to change things with Web3?
So, okay, yes, we're trying to disrupt and create and change new things, but also I'm realistic to understand that the long-term like mainstreaming of it has to come through Web 2.5. Most people are not going to jump all the way from Web 2 to Web 3. There's no way. And also like logistically, like most people just can't, right? It's not easy to actually go through a legit onboarding process with the education and want to go through that. Most people are never going to do it. So if we actually want this to proliferate, like you've got to have the big brands, you've got to have certain people come in. We just need to fight to make sure that true decentralization is still there as an option that can keep growing so that more people discover it, and slowly we can create our own systems outside of the existing ones. I don't think we're just gonna like let's be clear, I don't think we're just gonna change everything. The whole world is not just gonna change because a small subsection wants it to, but we can change some things, I think.
There's a balance, there's a push and a pull. You have some of my friends are just like, Web3 maxis, right? Some of my friends, are Web2 maxis and they hate NFTs. I mean, I'm also somewhere in the middle,
I think it's important, like you said, to just be open to these different ways of onboarding, because that is a creative way that I didn't even think Twitter would be onboarding, and maybe they didn't even intend that either. But like what we do with Nova 3 and Dancing Seahorses, this venue could just be very much a Web 2 or a normal venue that people want to come and enjoy, but they have to own the NFT to access it. So that's very much like onboarding the normies, because they're like, okay, what is an NFT? We're showing them that an NFT is more than just a JPEG of an animal picture. It's now membership. It's now access.
Actual utility. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why I'm stoked to be here. Yeah, that's why it's cool to be here and be part of this as a larger experiment, moving into the IRL, experiential space and doing more with Web3 tech. It's fucking cool. I'm stoked to be here. Stoked to be hanging out with y'all.
Yeah.
This has been fun, man. Okay, let's just wrap it up with this. How does the whole Twitter Elon saga end? How do you think he ends up triumphing and turning this around and it being super successful? Do you think eventually it crashes and burns? Do you think that the banks come after him and he has to sell it off? Like, what do you think?
I like that
last
spicy take. That sounds exciting. I think it ends with him stepping down, which he may have already done. Because
what's the next Twitter poll?
What's the next Twitter poll? Yeah. He dug himself a grave with that one of being like, should I step down as CEO? And everyone was like, yes.
Elon is the master troll. This is all a big psyop. People generally are pretty over social media, despite the fact that the numbers keep rising. If you look at your screen time usage, most people are spending 6 hours a day on social media.
That's why I deleted Instagram.
Yeah. And so, it's this weird dichotomy where a lot of people are really over social media, but keep using it more and more. And it's interesting because so much of our worldview is influenced by these algorithms. What you see influences what you think influences your behavior. And I think people are going to start wanting more authentic experiences, whether that's in real life, whether that's in the metaverse, or whether that's on social media. And now what I think Elon Musk is doing with these Twitter files is saying, look, we're airing out all this dirty laundry, get some eyeballs on it, and then position it as a more transparent and authentic platform. And if that's what people actually want, they will gravitate there.
Yeah, there was an interview. I didn't watch it all, but I just saw a little clip of him saying, all of the Twitter conspiracies are true. So
all my conspiracy theories became conspiracy facts.
Yeah, so it is airing out a lot for sure. And I think you touched upon a really great point that we could dive into another time. It's like, these are very addictive tools that we don't even necessarily like using. It's not as if we're getting so much value out of Instagram that we keep coming back 6 hours a day. No, we are highly addicted. And that's why I deleted it off my phone. My account still exists, but I deleted it off my phone because and then I wrote this whole thing. My last post was like, as I contemplate deleting Instagram, I actually became I was fiending for it because I knew it was going away, just like a heroin addiction.
That dopamine is
It was
strong,
so
man.
strong. I found myself being drawn to my phone more and more, going on Instagram more and more because I knew it was going away and I had to keep getting these hits. It was really trippy to experience that. But once I let it go, it's so freeing and I have so much more time and I feel amazing. It was so good to cut it out.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that.
Yeah.
That's got to be very refreshing.
It is. I feel like a free woman. I feel like I'm living in a different world now, though.
Yo, cheers to your liberation from Instagram. You know what? If we can just offboard one white girl from Instagram a day,
the world will be a better place.
The world would probably be a better place. Anyway, no, great takes. I tend to agree with everything y'all are saying, but especially the takes of I think that honestly there's a master stroke. I think the one X factor that's kind of strange to me is that this is the most ideologically driven thing that I think Elon's done from a business perspective.
You're right.
Because clearly he has a free speech libertarian sort of agenda that is tied to this business move. And I think that that's part of why he's overspent like 3 or 4 times more than he probably should have spent to buy it. And so that's the one thing that to me is if he can keep that in check and not let the ego/agenda part of it get out of hand, then I think that it could be a total master stroke because Twitter is positioned to be it's already one of the most important platforms in the world, but in the future, I think it will continue to be.
I hear what you're saying. Just want to add on one little point. Like, yes, this is definitely it has an ideological factor, right? Free speech. But ideology is only going to get you so far when this thing costs you upwards of $40 billion. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, this thing has to turn a
Pocket
profit.
change, bro.
Yeah.
But it's also like it makes me question how smart he is in business or his intentions in business, because that money could have been spent on enhancing Tesla, which is helping the planet, versus his own ego of Twitter.
Yeah, and that's a whole other thing that we could get into, right? About how the batteries are actually anyway.
Yeah,
it's a
agree.
good point. It's
I
a great
agree.
point. Like, he could be focusing and doubling down more on other things, but he's putting a lot of time and energy into Twitter right now. And I think, to your point about the PSYOP or whatever, like, yes, he overpaid by this crazy valuation of what it's worth right now. I think he understands the potential. Again, it's like, this is, I call Mark Zuckerberg Fuckerberg sometimes. And obviously, like, there's a lot of stuff about what Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, now Meta, have been up to that I disagree with. But I think that he understands the potential of where the metaverse is going to be 10 years from now. And everybody's, again, looking at the quarterly report, that short-term mentality of like, oh, shit, he's spending tens of billions of dollars and it doesn't have returns yet. Where are the returns? We need the returns
Give us that
already.
money.
And it's just like, no, I think Zuckerberg has a clear vision that 10 years from now, dating's going to be in the metaverse. Fucking's going to be in the metaverse.
Oh, no.
Business is going to be in the metaverse. It's the metaverse. We're already living in it in some degree, right?
It's the metaverse, bro.
No, like literally. That's what I think. I think Elon's doing a long-term bet, and he sees that, yeah, right now it's worth 10 bill. I'll overpay 40 bill because over the next 10 to 20 years, it's going to be like Apple. It's going to be like trillions, maybe. You know?
And one last note that ties in the gaming to the metaverse is I used to be highly addicted to The Sims. And that, I feel like, was the intro to the metaverse. And
Wow,
I heard somewhere.
that's a deep take.
No, it is. And I heard somewhere that it's one of the most played games in the world.
Yeah.
So that is, and now they've got it on the phone. I can't log on because that addiction is still strong.
That is like the female-friendly metaverse, I think, way in. If you can create like a Sims-like experience, I think you'll get a lot of
yeah,
love.
I
I,
love
know, I would
Sims.
always like drown all my little guys.
Well,
in
me
the pool.
too. I would
Go
do
hang out in GTA, bro. It's not for you, bro. Stay out of Sims. Stop fucking with the Sims, bro.
No, I think it made us all
I've committed
question.
war crimes.
I think it made us question all of our sanity, because I would definitely do the money hack, build these like magnificent homes, decorate it, make my people so smart, and then drown them in the pool and make them burn themselves alive.
Wow.
Like, it does make you wonder if you're normal.
This is where The Sims is responsible both for modern women's high expectations for dating and their fascination with murder mysteries. There
Wow.
it is. We pull it
Deep
all
cut.
together. Fuck you, money. That's right. That's what we do here.
That's a wrap.
We are the rug that pulls the room together. You know what? It's fucking Kelly's birthday, so we got some cupcakes. We're gonna go out with a special little celebration. Do you have a lighter?
I have
candle?
matches.
You know,
I'm
let's
old
go
school.
ahead. We're not
Yeah.
we're not singing. We're not singing the birthday
We're
song.
not?
though. No.
Happy
This
birthday,
is my one
trap
beat.
remix.
This is my one beat.
Trap remix.
Yes.
What about a rap?
I'd be down with a trap remix.
Trap remix. Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
That was so fun.
That was a good shit.
Dude, y'all killed it.
Dude, that was super fun.
Do you want to read the note?
What's this?
That's the mystery note.
We're gonna read that with the
Oh,
cupcakes.
okay. We'll read it.
And instead of singing the birthday song, we're gonna read
Oh,
the
that's
note.
awesome.
I like it because it's going to add to this international online search for my secret admirer, because I've already posted it on Twitter and I'm getting some takes on who it could be. But
The hunt is on.
yeah, I've asked all my friends. I did get great satisfaction out of asking all my old flames and either making them jealous or,
Of course.
or very curious.
This is where we find out she sent it to herself.
Psyops.
That's like an old move. Women would do that like at the office to make their like crush jealous.
Wait, really?
Oh.
See, I don't.
Come on,
I don't
psyops
usually
exactly, yeah.
play these petty games, so this is new to me. What is psyops? What does that mean? I nodded, like I understood that smart word, but I don't.
Psychological operation.
Psychological operation.
Like MK Ultra.
I recently learned about that. I was listening to a podcast series that dove into it.
Oh shit!
That
What
shit's
did they
fucking
say?
nuts. I mean, just that it exists. The fact that
The
it
fact that
existed
exists
is just.
fucking insane. And like,
You know about it?
like that's just the one we heard about. Imagine how much shit we don't know.
Oh
we
my
have a
god, it was
lighter?
so sick. Like,
So
like
wild.
dosing
Oh, that's
people
true.
up with so much acid that they like.
I mean,
can't
I
even-
would have volunteered if they just asked me, but.
Wait, where are we placing this?
Well, yeah, what's
Here?
a good place? Should I just hold it?
I want you to get down on your knees and present it to me on your
Is
back.
it, yeah, here?
Yeah, or the flowers.
Without catching them on fire.
Oh, these are dank.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Where
Simply
should I put
chocolate.
this?
Hold
In
it.
my lap?
Yeah, well, you're going to talk
With
about
my
it
little
anyway.
smiley face? It's
Yeah.
my child now. Wait, here. This.
Is it still recording? Yeah, looks like it is.
Keep the chocolates,
We
I guess. for
do
story
not
time. Can you help
skimp
me light?
on the
Yeah.
production
Thank you.
quality here.
I'm a big
on
pyro.
Web3 Network or at Nova 3 Studios. We do not skimp on these production qualities. All right, we got some high quality cupcakes from the local bakery, Target,
Tarjay?
and we got some gold candles. That's real 24 karat gold
Oh,
for
look at
you,
that.
Kelly, for
I'm
your
gonna-
birthday.
I'm gonna be
Shine.
keeping them and melting them down later.
Yeah, make some earrings. Make a bracelet maybe.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll just make earrings out of the
Maybe
candles.
make a seahorse.
Ooh. Okay, let's go.
Oh,
Do you need help?
I might actually.
He has not
He's not a
lit a
smoker.
match.
He's more, he's
this
more
is
into.
There
he's
we
a
go.
full DJ and he hasn't lit a match in
Yeah.
10 years.
All right, we're not gonna sing because I have an issue with how people sing the birthday song. They usually can't sing it in tune. So,
Well, also we do it better in Australia. Let me just say.
but
We do.
I kind of want to hear that then.
It's just the ending, and you know we do it. They don't even do that in England. It's a very Australian
You know, you
thing.
can just light it with the other flame.
I know, but it's more fun to do.
It
this.
is fun. Yeah. All right, while Heroin gets these candles going, what happened here, Kelly? You got a secret admirer note, some flowers, some chocolates. What is this?
I did. So I was at work yesterday and got a phone call from the delivery guy at the door. And, he gave me this. And I thought, oh, how cute. Because my aunt is a florist. So I'm like, oh, my aunt sent me some flowers. So I asked her. She's like, no, I would never send you a smiley face. You're way too, classy and creative for a smiley face. And I was like, thanks, Auntie, for seeing me. So I've asked everyone. Family, friends, all the exes. Really enjoyed their responses. And no one has come forward. I've posted it on Twitter. Still don't know, but we have,
We're gonna read it though.
yes,
Yeah.
we have a hint or like a clue.
Please, yeah.
But I feel like I should make a wish and blow out the candles, right? Or should
yeah.
we just let them burn?
Yeah,
And
that's
for
order
dramatic
of
effect.
operations. I feel like that's the smart move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make a wish.
Haptic suit.
Nice.
Number one priority. Okay, so the note is birthdays are just nature's way of instructing us to eat more cake. I agree. He. This world is so much better because you're in it. And then this is in capital letters. Always remember that. Full stop. Happy birthday, Kelly. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Dash the universe. Smiley face. So there's a lot of clues there because guys don't write he unless
I was gonna say the gender question is neutral to me. It could be guy, girl, non-binary. I have no idea who.
It has like this riddle-like quality to it.
it does.
It's the fucking Riddler.
Like the cake, like I'm trying to think of which of my friends really likes eating cakes or desserts or
yeah.
Something about nature, right? The flowers, nature's way, right?
yeah, like
There's
yeah.
something
So
of-
someone's
yeah.
into nature because that's an obscure reference. Like who writes nature's way of saying eat more
Was it
cake?
one of y'all? Do y'all know who it is?
There's also the fact that they wrote in capitals, always remember that, as if they're like some wise prophet. And then
That's the seed phrase.
that's the
This
thing.
is a seed phrase.
Imagine there's like $1 million waiting for me. Then there's 3 exclamation marks. Like that's also a lot. Who does that?
That's too many.
That's too-
Yeah.
I have friends that do that, but I asked them, they weren't
3 is a
responsible for
lot.
this.
That's some
Little
that's some-
happy face
that's
at the
some-
end.
And then from the universe.
and an emoji. Oh, you got an emoji happy face with 3 exclamation
Not an emoji,
points?
a traditional smiley face,
Still.
an old school.
That's beta. That's beta shit, bro.
No, I think it's cute. I like that. I prefer from a guy, I would prefer that smiley face then an emoji smiley face. But that's a
Yeah.
controversial
But even
topic.
you said it was too many exclamations, so I don't
It
know.
is.
I don't know.
So from the universe, someone who's spiritual.
We're gonna find you. We're gonna figure
are
it
gonna
out. We're
find
We're gonna
you.
crack this
We're on the
code.
case now.
But I just have to say thank you. I like it. I love it, actually.
It's
It's the
beautiful.
only birthday flowers I got, so I'm very grateful. And the chocolates are actually bomb. I'm
yeah.
a bit of a chocoholic myself, and I would tell you if they were shit. But yeah, please come forward. Would love to know who you are.
And I'm gonna cheat on my crazy hell shit and have a fucking cupcake.
Let's
so
go.
with that,
Please
thanks for
look
joining
down.
this pilot episode. Make sure to subscribe to the Web3 Network. We're gonna be doing this show on a weekly basis. I don't know. That's the goal with this
I like
one.
the
We got a lot of other
birthday
formats, a lot of other shows on the network,
looking
and
one.
we're always looking for new creators. So if you want to get involved, you know what? Hit us up. Our DMs are open, and yeah, we got NFT Live and GM Web3 on Twitter Spaces and YouTube happening Monday through Thursday. We got Speakeasy happening every Thursday on Twitter Spaces, and more shows coming this year. So, big love to you. Smash the like if you haven't already. If you don't, all your NFTs are going to zero, bro. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
He doesn't
if you
make
don't
up the
smash
rules.
it, yeah. If you don't,
Punch
I
that
don't,
like button.
I don't make up the rules. That's just how it works. If you don't like the video, your bags are going to zero.
That's what
all
they
right.
say.
Big love. I've been Gifted, your humble Web3 Sherpa. And we got Kelly. I can't even say Sherpa. We got Kelly and Heroin. Let them know where to find y'all.
Yo, you can find me heroin everywhere.
Yeah, but how do you spell that? That's not what they're gonna.
That's the question. That's
That is the
actually
question.
the question.
He's gonna keep it a mystery. You have to, once you figure out how he spells heroin, then you have the privilege of following him.
Yeah. How do you spell Kelly Pantaleone?
Yeah, that's a long Italian one. Kelly with a Y. Pantaleone. Pantaleoni. Pantaleone.
Yeah, I got that. I remembered that. And a shout out Nova 3. Shout out Ryan and Alex, the production crew over here. Yo, we couldn't
Holding
do
it
it without
down.
y'all. Excited to work with y'all.
Pros.
And you know, be back here at this awesome space.
Let's
Yeah.
fucking go.
Yeah, this is a great show.
Hell yeah.
2023. What's up?
Finally, my year.
It's my year. Finally. Woo.
Let's fucking get into this. All right, that's it. We did it.
Yes,
Hell
you
yeah,
fucking
fam.
rocked it. You were such a good host. Holy shit.